What's up, guys? So let's dive into this video, right? So why do I like Mustangs? What made me fall in love with it? And what have I done to keep me in love with the Mustang, right? So as far as I can remember, as little as I was, my cousins had Mustangs, right? Fox bodies, anywhere from, I think the earliest model that I can remember was a 96 Mustang that one of my cousins' dads had. And then my other cousins finally, once they started to drive, they had the Cobra, they had a Terminator, they had later on a 2014 or 2013 Shelby, 2009 Shelby, and then a 2012 Shelby, that's what it was. And then just everything in between in Mustangs. And I would see them, show up to parties. I would, when we would go hang out, like I would go in the Mustang and they would drive it, and the way it sounded, it was super aggressive, it was super nice. Like, I just absolutely loved it. My cousin Brandon, who is down in Georgia, he's in the military too. He just recently bought a 2018 Mustang, I want to say 19 Mustang. The storm totaled his 2015 Subaru. So he ended up getting a Mustang, and he also loves Mustangs. Again, it just runs in the family. We've, for the most part, had Mustangs in our lives, and there's just something we just keep and, pass down, I guess, to the next generation when our kids hopefully, see us with the Mustangs, and it's like, oh, cool, I want to be like Dad, I want to be like my tios, I want to be like my cousins, whatever the case may be, right? So we'll see how long the Mustang keeps in the family. With that, right, when I got the Mustang in 2015, it was everything I ever wanted. I upgraded from a 2009, which was a V6 at the time. I sold it. I love that car. That's still, even though it has a V6 engine, it was still my first Mustang, and I still loved it, and it was my first car, so I will always have a special place for it in my heart. But like I said, when I got the 2015 Mustang, absolutely loved it. I immediately did the tint, the stripes, and the exhaust. And like, as a college student, that's all I could do because I had to pay the bill of the Mustang, the payments, right? And then I couldn't really do much of anything else. I was really looking at the tires and wheels and so many things that I wanted to do. And then I ended up moving from El Paso, Texas, down here to Columbus, Georgia, where I was in a school for about a year. And out of that year, I wasn't able to drive a Mustang for about half of that year because of all the training. I went to Ranger School, and I was gone for about 4 months almost. And then I was told that I was going to Alaska, so I definitely was not taking the Mustang up to Alaska. Bought the truck, which that's another story, but bought the truck, drove the Mustang back to Texas, left it there with my parents, went up to Alaska for 3 years. And I want to say I forgot about it because obviously that was still my baby. That was still, the car I've always wanted. But I really couldn't do anything. I was up in Alaska. I maybe visited home for a total of like a month during my time in Alaska in those 3 years. So there was nothing I could do, right? And I didn't want to just, pawn it off to my dad to like, oh yeah, go put this, right? Go put that. Like, I would like to do that stuff. But they took care of it, right? They drove it maybe once every week, once every 2 to 3 weeks, just depending on what they were doing with their lives down here in Texas. I proceeded to come back to Georgia, right? I stopped by back home for a little bit, drove the Mustang, came back to Georgia. Didn't bring it initially because I didn't know where I was going to go after a 6-month school that I was in. Once they told me I was staying here for another 2-ish years, I immediately went home with the truck, grabbed it, towed it back. Of course, we went on vacation and stuff, my wife and I and my son, but got it from Texas, towed it back here, and that's when I started to fall in love with it again, right? Because I had it in my possession, and I could finally start doing everything I wanted. As you see in my previous videos, I got the tune, the intake, wheels, tires, suspension, all those things started to make it as the way I wanted my Mustang to be, right? And I had a lot of fun with it down here. I was able to drive it a decent amount of time, and I never was able to race. Well, I raced it once against Clifford 50, I think IG is. I'll put it right up here. I think his IG actually changed, but here it is right here, so you guys can go ahead and give him a follow. We raced it up in Atlanta, and that was a lot of fun during one of the Cars and Coffees. It was just 3 laps, so I didn't really get to do too much, you know, handling and maneuvering. But I mean, it was a lot of fun. And like I said, I started falling in love with it again. Now that we're moving back to Texas, the Mustang's been over there for about 2 months now, maybe 3 months. And like, again, like, not that I've fallen out of love with it, but like kind of lost, I wouldn't say lost interest, but since I don't have it in my possession again, it's like, do I really want to do these things? But I guarantee you when I get back and I see it, I already have plans, right? I know what I want to do to it, and I'm going to fall in love with it again. I'm going to start doing things. And there is a racetrack about an hour and a half from where I live in New Mexico, and I plan on taking it there to race with my other cousins who have S2000s, other Mustangs, other Subarus, whatever they have, right? So can't wait to race it, and I can't wait to bring you guys that content. When that content is coming, I don't know, but I promise you, I will let you know, and you will see it on this channel when it happens. But yeah, that's basically my life story of why I love Mustangs and what made me fall in love again and keep me in love, because again, it's just an amazing car, right? I mean, there's Camaros and there's Challengers, and don't get me wrong, those are nice cars, but the Mustang is far superior, right? I'm very biased, obviously, but the Mustang is superior. But again, though, right, just because you have a Camaro or a Challenger, I'm not talking smack or whatever the case may be, but you know, every person has their own thing that they're into. If you guys enjoy that stuff, like I enjoy going to car shows and seeing Camaros, Challengers, Chargers, whatever else there is out there, right? And seeing how they make it unique to themselves. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll be bringing you more. Have a good one. What up, YouTube? Finally back. So foot is still broken, obviously. I can hopefully start walking in about 2 months, maybe, in my boot. And as of right now, still no surgery. Other thing going on in my life is the family and I are getting up and leaving Georgia, and we're going over to Texas. So we're going to Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas. We have a house. We're super excited. We're first-time homeowners, and I'll be bringing you a lot more videos once we get there in about 2 weeks. So we leave on November 16th and should begin there November 19th. So maybe right before the month of December, I'll bring you guys another video. All right, so let's get into the video.